Why, hello, welcome to Wednesday's Capstone. So today we are going to continue to take notes, and I'm going to continue to emphasize good ways to take notes, okay? How to take your time, how to do it well. So I'm going to remind you of the steps. Use read and write tools to make reading the article easier. Stop often and think. Read it twice, write 3 to 5 notes. So again, I'm going to model for you what that should look like. I'm going to model for you exactly what you should be doing. Okay? So it's so important to watch this video so that you're clear on what you need to do. And also, what I want you to think about is as I'm reading, what would you write? When would you stop? Because that's starting to give you mental practice to do it yourself. Okay. So I'm going to go to my Padlet. Now I'm going to choose another article. Oh, I have this TrueFlix. So remember, I went to the student page and opened TrueFlix just so I'm signed in. So I should be able to click here and it should open. Yes. Okay. Now, one thing though, this entire book cannot be an article. I can't read this whole book and take notes on it in one day. It's too much. One chapter. One chapter is an article. So when I take my notes, I'm just going to talk about, I'm going to make it clear that I'm doing chapter 4 and the date is 5/6. Now, I'm going to come back to this. So I'll probably do more chapters, but today I'm only doing chapter 4. Okay, so here's my TrueFlix. I'm going to open it up. Should I split the screen here so that we can see the checklist as well? So we'll move this guy over. A little too much maybe. Okay. Okay, sorry for that little delay. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I'm using read and write tools to make the reading the article easier. So if I need to use these tools, I click on them and it'll allow me to take notes, look at definitions and all of that. So I always want this toolbar ready. Okay. Second step, stop and think often. All right. So the nice thing about TrueFlix, as we know, is it can read to me. So I will have it read to me. Actually, if I use the read function, you won't be able to hear it. So I'll just read it out loud. Okay. The beginning of the end. Many people wanted to abolish or do away with slavery. In 1777, Vermont outlawed slavery in its new constitution. One by one, other northern states began to follow Vermont's example. But slavery had become too important to the economy of the South for owners to free their slaves. Oh, so the northern states got rid of slavery pretty early, I'm realizing. Because I know we became a country in 1776. So just 1 year after already, people are getting rid of slavery. Interesting. I didn't realize that. But slavery had become too important to the economy of the South for owners to free their slaves. Economy is, I think, like the business, right? let's see. No, I might not be able to use read and write, which reflects. Yeah, came too important to the business of the South for owners to free their slaves. Additionally, Southern slaves held a lot of power in the U.S. Congress. The South would not easily be forced to follow the North's emancipation of slaves. So I think they're saying like the South wasn't going to give in easily and free their slaves. Oof. So you notice, guys, I'm stopping a lot to think, okay? I'll read a little bit more before we take some notes. Division. Congress passed the Missouri Compromise in 1820. It allowed Maine to be admitted to the Union as a non-slave free state. Missouri was admitted as a slave state. This kept an equal number of free and slave states in the Union. Yet debate continued as more territories worked to become states. Oh, so look, up here is the country. So half the country has slaves. The other northern half does not have slaves. Northerners wanted a federal law to decide which future states would be free or slave. But this is already in the 1800s, right? So it's been going on a long time since Vermont became free. In 1850, Congress passed the Fugitive Slave Law. It required all captured runaway slaves to be returned to their owners. Remember, we read this in the other article. Many escaped slaves told Northerners how difficult their lives were in the South. Their stories were often printed in newspapers and widely read. The number of Northerners who supported abolition grew. Meanwhile, the North and South were moving further apart on the issue of slavery. Oh, so like freed slaves wrote about their experience, and people would read about it in the newspapers and probably like hear the truth and get upset. Okay, so far I've read and stopped a lot to think. No notes. Now I can read it again. This is what you need to do. And I know some of you just want to get this done and get it done quickly. You're probably thinking about skipping my video. If you didn't skip my video, you're going to know in the comment section of this to write bunny rabbit. Why? I don't know. But bunny rabbit is the code word to know that you made it all the way to this part of the video. So now we're going to read it twice. Okay, so I'm going to go back.
It's kept an equal number of free. The beginning of the end.
Now it reads. Okay. Should I have it read to us now? Or not? Many people wanted to abolish or do away with slavery. In 1777, Vermont outlawed slavery in its new constitution. One by one, northern states began to follow Vermont's example. Guys, I think this is going to be important for our notes. But slavery had become too important to the economy of the South for owners to free their slaves. Additionally, southern states held a lot of power in the U.S. Congress. The South would not easily be forced to follow the North's emancipation of slaves. Again, I think that'll be important. Congress passed the Missouri Compromise in 1820. It allowed Maine to be admitted to the Union as a non-slave or free state. Missouri was admitted as a slave state. This kept an equal number of free and slave states in the Union. Yet, debate continued as more territories worked to become states. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and take my notes. Now that I've read it and thought a lot, and then I read it a second time, I think I'm ready. What's one thing you would put into the notes? You would put that pretty early on states in the North were ending slavery. Vermont was the first. I would put that too. What else would you put? Oh, that slavery was, I'm going to say, like, made too much money for the South to end. Maybe as time went on, freed slaves began to tell their stories. And then maybe finally there became a lot of, disagreement between the North and South. I think that's a great amount of notes for what I read. So please use these steps. Read a chunk that makes sense, but make sure that your notes, when you take them, make sense to someone, right? Not only to yourself, but to someone else who might read them. And doing this isn't just an assignment. It's not just so you can say, I'm done. It's so that you're actually learning about your topic. And the only way to learn about your topic is to read in this careful way. Okay, good luck. I can't wait to see what you get up to today. Thank you.